Welcome back to the channel everyone. So till now we have seen the procedural concepts of language, but from today's video we will see the object oriented concepts of language, which is more interesting to learn. Okay, so our today's video topic is what is class and what is object. So let's begin. So first of all, what is class? So class is a collection of objects which have common properties, and it is a template from which objects are created, or you can say it is a blueprint for object. So it is a logical entity, can't be physical, and Java class contains three things. First is data members, which is variables, then member functions, which is methods, and then constructors. Now we will see this constructor in next video, but our today's video is focused on what is class and what is object and how do we use it. Okay, so this is the syntax to create a class. First of all, you have to specify the class keyword, and then you have to specify your class name. You can specify any class name based on your requirements, and within this curly braces you can specify your data members, member functions, and constructors. Okay, so here we have object now. So what is object? An object is an instance of a class, and every object has their different state and behavior. An example of objects are blackboard or bike or car, or you can take any real world entity as an object. Then the characteristics of object mainly have three characteristics. First is state, which represents the value of object, then behavior, which represents the functionality of object, then identity, which is the unique ID of an object and used internally by JVM to identify each object uniquely. Okay, then in order to use the object property or attributes, we have to use dot operator. And how do we use this dot operator? First of all, we have to specify the object name. Okay, we have to specify object name, then we have to use dot operator here, and then we have to specify our property or attribute which we want to access. Okay, so then here is the syntax to create an object. First of all, you have to specify your class name, then your object name, then equals to new. Now this new is a keyword which is used to allocate memory to the object. Okay, and then after new you have to specify your class name again and then parenthesis. So this is what class and objects. So let me show you one example of class and object now. Okay, so if you have noticed in my all the previous video, I have used class. Now in today's video we will see what is class actually. Okay, so here as you can see I have created one class which is employee and then main method. So this is the class keyword and this is the name of my class. So now let's assume employee have which type of attribute. So we can say employee have their employee ID, then employee have their employee name also. Okay, so as of now we take two attributes to better understanding. For better understanding, so for employee ID we have to take integer variable because ID is the number. So here I take integer employee ID, emp for employee underscore ID, then string employee name here. Okay, for employee name. So these are the two attributes of our employee. Now I want to print the details of employee. So in order to print the details I have to take one method. So here I take one method which is void display. This display method displays the detail of employee. Okay, so I have to write system dot out dot println, and within this I can write ID of employee. So concat the employee ID here, and then again write plus, and here I also want to print the name, so concat the employee name also. Okay, so this is how we can print the detail, but I want that this name will be printed in new line, so I have to specify /n here. /n is used to print the line in new line. Okay, so done. We have created two attributes and here we displace. But now let's make it simple. Let's assume in office there are many employees, right? So these many employees are nothing but many objects. You can consider each employee as one object. Okay, so let's create one object here. Okay, so in order to create an object, we already seen the syntax. In order to create object, first of all we have to specify the class name, then our object name. Here I take E1, say for example, equals to new, it allocates the memory, and then employee. Okay, so I created one object. Now in order to access the attributes of object, we have to use dot operator, right? So how do we use it? So first of all we have to specify E1 object name here, then put dot operator and then access the attribute you want. Here I want to access employee ID, so equals to 101, say for example. So I initialize the one attribute, then second attribute is employee name, So employee name here equals to, say for example, Parth is our first employee. Okay, so okay, we have initialized two attributes. So E1 is our first employee. Now let's take second employee here. Okay, so second employee is E2, and then employee ID is 102, and the name is Vishwa, say for example, and here I have to write E2 because it is employee 2. Okay, so done. We created two objects here, which is two employee. Okay, so now the remaining thing is I want to print the details of employee. That's why I take the here method. So how do I print this line? So if you do not watch my method video, I have told in that video that in order to print the code within the method, we have to call the method, because by default the code is not executed of method without calling it. So the simple thing is we have to call this method. So how do we call it? So because it return type of method is void, we have to simply specify the name. Okay, so here I call the method before object creation display. Okay, so it will print, but the question is this display this display will print which employee details. Okay, the question is we called the method, no doubt, but now method, how do the method knows that we want to print which employee details? So that's why we have to specify the object name also before the method name. Okay, so if I write e1.display, so it will print the details of e1 employee. Okay, so let me run this program. Okay, so here you can see we got the correct output. What it prints, id 101, which is the id of e1, and then name Parth, which is the name of first employee. So this works perfectly because we write e1 because we want to print e1 detail, and then put dot operator and then the name of method in order to call it. Now say for example I also want to print the second employee details, so here simply write e2.display, so it prints second employee details also. Okay, so yeah, as you can see, first it prints the first employee detail, then second employee detail here. So let me quickly revise these concepts. First we create two attributes of employee, which is employee ID and employee name. Then I created one method because I want to print the details of employee, right? So I created one method. Then within the main method we have to create the object. Always within the main method we have to create an object in most of the cases. Okay, so in order to create the object, first of all we have to specify the class name, then object name equals to new for allocate the memory, then again class name. Now in order to access the attribute, we have to specify the object name, then attribute name, and then our value. Same for the second, and then here I call the method display using the object name because we want to print here first employee details. Then same as second employee, and then we call display method for e2, and here we got the output. Okay, so this is all about classes and object and how do we use it. So in the next video I will explain about the constructors and how do we use the constructors and all the things. So if you have any doubts in today's video, you can ask me in the comment section below, and if you do like the video, hit the like button, please subscribe to our channel and stay tuned. Thank you.